In my mind, worlds collide. Something inside me is gone. Still I keep going on.
What is up, guys? Today's awesome here. Welcome back to a brand new video. I have watched Godzilla x Kong 5 times in theaters now. I've watched it in IMAX, I watched it in Dolby, and the rest were just standard movie theater experience. Nothing too crazy. Went to Phoenix to watch it in IMAX and Dolby, and that was an experience. I did like a mini vlog about going there. I'm going to put that together soon. And after this video, this is the non-spoiler review, and I'm going to be working on my spoiler review for Godzilla x Kong, and then you should expect my ranking of the Monsterverse films, and then my top 10 favorite Godzilla movies. And then, it's already over, but the Godzilla x Kong Call of Duty event has wrapped up. I have all the bundles. I'm going to be making videos about the bundles. Overall thoughts on the crossover event. So there's a lot to look forward to on this channel. Of course, the return of Monsterverse theories, of course, because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to discuss when it comes to the next film and, everything that this movie has set up. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and like the video. And, link in the description to all of our social medias and other platforms down below, all the Monarch cast members and I. And without further ado, let's talk about my non-spoiler review for Godzilla x Kong. And you know what? They cooked. I watched it 5 times. That should have been like your spoiler warning, but I watched this movie 5 times. I absolutely eat every minute of this movie. And it is just such a treat to have a Monsterverse movie like this. I want to say Godzilla movie, but this is more of a Kong movie than anything else. Godzilla is in it, and they found a unique way to, keep Godzilla in the movie. He's in it from beginning to end. He appears, frequently throughout the story, but he does kind of feel... there is that word that people throw in, they say he's an afterthought, but I don't really find him as an afterthought. It's just we follow Kong's journey more in this movie, and we do cut back to see what Godzilla is doing. So I guess maybe you could say chalk it up to an afterthought, but I just don't believe that. I just don't believe Godzilla is an afterthought in this movie. And does it really feel that way? But that's the main thing I've heard everyone say, is that this is more of a Kong movie. And it is. It's absolutely more of a Kong movie. They do team up. It is towards the end of the movie. And that's the unfortunate part. If I had to give this movie negatives, which I don't want to talk about just yet in this video, I just want to kind of gush about the movie real quick. In a non-spoiler way, but I think this is to talk about some of the positives. I think this is the most balanced when it comes to monster screen time and human screen time. I think they actually found a unique balance with this. I will say I am all for no humans for at least 1 or 2 Monsterverse films, as they if we can get a Godzilla BC film, that'd be really cool. Even then, you can probably have a unique way to have humans in there and have a human story, because there wouldn't be English in that movie. So maybe it would just be primarily sign language. I think it would be really cool. But anyway, that's not here or there at the moment. But in this movie, they found a unique way or maybe not they didn't find a unique way, but because we do have 2 separate stories. We have Godzilla's story, we have Kong's story, and there is a human story that is intertwined with Kong's story. So they found I think this is the best balance that you can have if you're going to have a human cast and the Titan characters. And I was all for it. There's not one moment in the movie where I'm okay, this is too much human screen time. There's not at any point in the battles where they cut to the humans or anything like that. This is the best handled of everyone's screen time. And the Titans themselves, obviously, when I buy a ticket for a Monsterverse movie, a kaiju movie, for the most part, if it's Godzilla, I'm buying my ticket to see Godzilla. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's Godzilla -1. I'm going in there because I am a fan of the character, and that's why I love the Monsterverse so much, and I love Monsterverse Godzilla and Kong over any other version of these characters, because these guys are characters They're not just like they're not just not like mindless monsters that we come to see. Duke out. These are beloved characters that we've loved our entire lives, that have been around for nearly hundreds of years. And that's what they're treated as in this movie. They are treated as characters. Like Kong, there's many moments in this movie where it's just Kong and it's Zuko, and it's just visual storytelling, and that's where I'm like, we can totally get like a primal type style MonsterVerse movie in the future where it's just visuals that tell the story. And I would love that if we can get that with a Godzilla movie and we just follow Godzilla. But then again, that's me going off on a tangent again. Sticking with this movie, it's told for the visuals. The effects themselves are beautiful. There is maybe a few shots in the movie where I'm like, oh, that could have been polished a little bit more. But overall, with Godzilla, with Kong, with Hollow Earth, it's just, it is fantastic. The destruction, the battles, everything. And the choreography in this movie, too. This movie is told through the eyes of the monster, so we see their perspective. And there's a lot of fights in here where, between, Kong and Scar King. And, the choreography is just, I think it's the best of the Monsters. I think this is the absolute best action, the best fighting we have ever gotten in a Monsterverse movie. And if you ask me, I think this is the ultimate Monsterverse film. I think this is the one that is going to resonate most with people, and it has. It's making a huge impact. I've taken a friend out to the movies, and she has never seen a Godzilla movie. She has never seen a Monsterverse movie. This was her first gateway into that, and she walked out of this movie really liking it. Without any context of the other stuff. Of course, I sent her a video where that caught her up, with some of the lore and stuff, so she's not going completely blind. But this was her first movie, and she walked out liking it. Maybe even really liking it. I'll have to ask her that. Hey guys, this is me and editing this video. So I actually went and asked her if she would, type up something to say, what she thought of the movie. And to my surprise, I was kind of thinking something kind of short, simple, kind of a little generic. But no, she typed up a pretty cool paragraph on what she thought of the movie. So I'm going to insert that here. Enjoy.
Bear in mind, first Monsterverse I've seen. The characters and titans are far more expressive than I expected. I didn't really know these characters and their emotional bonds to each other, but was able to jump in with a basic lore explanation for context more than anything else. The action was good. It didn't overstay its welcome where it was all action and no story. Overall, if you love the Monsterverse, it's a must-see. And it's friendly to new viewers with a basic understanding of Monarch and Hollow Earth. My singular complaint, justice for Tiamat.
But going into some kind of negatives I have to say about the film. This is just me being a fanboy, and I guess it's not really a negative, just a nitpick. I wish that we did get more of Godzilla in this movie. Just 3 more minutes of Godzilla. I would have been totally fine with 3 more minutes of just Godzilla, and maybe whether it's him fighting another Titan, or just a little the Hollow Earth sequence just being a little longer with Godzilla and Shimo, and maybe some Godzilla and Scar King action as well. That's just a nitpick though. But moving on to some of my actual complaints with the movie, it does move. I think, on first viewing, I thought the pacing was too fast, and for the most part, this is a very fast pacing movie, but it works for what's in this movie and how the story is written and the characters we follow. I think the pacing works, but I do find it just a bit fast. When I was first watching this movie in theaters, I had anxiety because it was just moving really, really fast. And there was a moment in the movie where that tension broke for me, and I was able to sit back and have a good time. But the movie just moves pretty damn fast, and there are some liberties in lore and, dare I say, logic that they kind of take. I'll have to get into my spoiler discussion, but there's character that seemingly just kind of appears out of nowhere, just out of thin air. And it does kind of contradict, things that happen in King of the Monsters. And obviously, like, they keep messing with the lore. It kind of feels like they had this whole writer's room for the Monsterverse, and it kind of seems like they're just kind of contradicting some things, and that's just kind of a little irritating, to say the least. I'll have to maybe watch the movie again before I make my make my spoiler review, and kind of maybe take notes in the theater, dare I, and to see like what it is. But I just feel like there's a few without getting the spoilers, but there's a few things in the lore that I feel like were changed, and I feel like I don't want to go in a direction where they're just making shit up as they go. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that's what Adam Wingard has done, but I just don't want to go in that direction where they're just making shit up and just contradicting everything that we've seen in the other movies. I just want to make sure that we are consistent there, that the writer's room is still there. And we are consistently they're just thinking of quality. They're consistently looking at quality and making sure things aren't overlapping and contradicting themselves. But I do find a little bit of contradictory in this movie, just a little bit. There's also some moments too that could have been longer in this movie. There's the whole sequence in Egypt that I feel was kind of just rushed. While it was amazing to see, obviously, I would have just appreciated just maybe 20 extra seconds of just to really sink it in and really let these characters interact. And the third act too, it kind of seems it's in the trailer too. It's as soon as Kong gets his beast glove, it's goes, and then the movie kind of ends. There's plenty of action, there's plenty of fighting, and it's a big finale and stuff, but it's kind of quick, and in some instances, the way you might look at it, it does feel just a little bit anticlimactic, but it's just kind of hard to say. I think I'm just gonna work on my spoiler review now for you guys, so look out for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for that. That's just really going to wrap it up. There's not really much that I can really say without really spoiling or anything. But, if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to check out what my thoughts on it without spoiling anything, I think this is a great Monsters movie. It has its flaws, of course, but what Monsters movie doesn't have its flaws, okay? I love this shit. I embrace its flaws. I embrace all their flaws. But I might have a clear favorite here. I've watched it enough times, and, this could be it. This could be the ultimate Monsters movie experience that you should definitely see on the biggest screen possible. So, I think this gives... I don't have a tier system when it comes to movie. I don't really do enough movie reviews or anything, but if I had to give this movie the highest tier possible, go check it out in theaters, go buy it on 4K, and go buy all the collectibles that you can. That is my official golden standard for this movie. It's worth the watch. If you're a fan, if you're not a fan, I'd say just go watch it. You might be pleasantly surprised. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Look out for more. Subscribe. A lot of shit coming out. And as always, stay awesome.
In my mind, worlds collide. Something inside me is gone. Still I keep going.